I'm really, really glad to be here today. I actually want to tell you quickly how I ended up here. So I connected with Sky. I know you're hiding behind the podium. Sorry to put you on the spot. But I connected with Sky back at a conference several years ago. And I think the reason it's important for me to tell you all that is because part of what I'm going to talk about today is putting yourself out there and creating opportunities for yourself. So if I hadn't been putting myself out there as a self-advocate, I might not be here talking to all of you today. So we're going to talk about learning how to find your own voice and how to put yourself out there. So by being at this conference, you're already taking a huge step in putting yourself out there and empowering yourself as a self-advocate, right? So let's give yourselves a round of applause for that. So now you're probably wondering who you just stood up and clapped for, right? So like all of you, I do identify as a self-advocate. You might see that I use a wheelchair. I was born with a physical disability called Larson syndrome. I'm sure you've never heard of it. I'll let you in on a little secret. We just got a Wikipedia page a few years ago, so I'm official. So my experience with my disability, especially because it's something that's been a part of me for my whole life, is that it's motivated me to speak up for myself, like I'm doing for all of you right now. I'm speaking up for myself and about myself. So I'm a woman with a disability, yes, but like all of you, I have many other things that are a part of who I am. So you'll see just some of them up there. I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a disability rights activist, a daughter, a friend, a coworker, and a proud woman with a disability. So we all have many parts of our identity, right? We're not just one aspect. Disability is not just the only aspect of who we are. We all have many things that make us who we are. But it's okay to be proud of who you are as someone with a disability too, right? So now you're probably wondering, what do I do? I work in disability advocacy professionally, and I love it. It is my passion. It is something that has driven me. It's the reason I get out of bed in the morning, truly. And so you probably are wondering why there are so many logos up here. So I do a lot of different things. I'll explain each one very briefly. First of all, words I wheel by is, I would call it my personal brand. We are in the age of social media. You do need to have a brand for yourself, or so they say, millennials, am I right? So words I wheel by is where I write about whatever experiences I'm having with disability at the moment. And then there's rooted in rights, where I'm not the one who's writing about my experiences, I'm actually the one who's helping other people share their experiences. So this is a shameless plug, but I'm going to tell you that if anyone in this room feels like writing their story, you can come find me and maybe we can work on that and maybe we can get your story published. So taking opportunities, right? Comes full circle already, and we've only been talking for like 5 minutes here. So the next thing that I do is I have a podcast. Again, a shameless plug, but I'm doing a session on podcasting later. So my podcast is called The Accessible Stall. We talk about disability issues. And if you all want to learn how to podcast, you can come find me later because I'm going to be talking about it at the afternoon session. And then we have Concepts. Concepts is my federal hat. I work federally and nonprofit. So for the federal sector, don't tell anybody I'm here. This is top secret. Just kidding. But so I work actually on projects for the U.S. Department of Labor, Office of Disability Employment Policy. And then, of course, there is the Sibling Leadership Network. So how many of you are siblings, either of someone with a disability or you have a disability and you are a sibling? Right? Yeah, lots of us have siblings. Interestingly, I don't. So don't ask me how I got into this because I have no idea. But so, as you can see, I try to take a well-rounded approach to educating people about disability. So how did I get started as an advocate? Because everybody starts somewhere, right? We all started somewhere. We've all advocated for ourselves for the first time at one point or another. I'm pretty lucky that I had some really great role models. So the top picture that you see, that's me and that's my mom around the same age. I'm gonna let you guess which one is my mom and which one is me. Hint, I'm not the one in black and white. So you can see that we look a lot alike, right? So that's partly because we're mother and daughter, but also partly because we share the same disability. She has the same disability as I do, so we have a lot of the same facial features. We look very much the same. People confuse us as twins all the time or as sisters, which is annoying to me because I'm the younger one, but she loves it. But I had such a great role model. I mean, having someone in my house, in my life, raising me, who taught me how to be an advocate for myself, who I watched be an advocate every single day, that was pretty amazing. Sometimes people feel pretty bad for me that I had a mom with a disability and that I also have a disability. I think it's pretty awesome. So, of course, I would be wrong if I did not include my dad too. You can see him in the bottom picture with the three of us there. He's also pretty great. He does not have a disability, but he is the definition of what it means to be a good ally. And we have so many good allies in this room. Can we just have a round of applause for them? Yeah. So my dad he's pretty great. And I'm very, very lucky that I grew up with two really strong advocacy role models. And I'm sure if you all think about it, you probably have somebody in your life who's an advocacy role model for you, right? So now we're gonna switch gears. Enough about me for a moment though. We're gonna play a little game. And this is fun because you get to shout it out. So if you're taking a nap, wake up for a minute, please. So I have a question for you. How many television or movie characters who have disabilities can you name? I want you to shout them out. Okay, or you know what, we can do hands. We can make it a little more organized. Let's do some hands. Okay, everyone's just gonna yell. Let's just yell. Let's just get into it. I heard someone yell really loud, but who was that? Yeah, okay, there you go. Somebody else? Okay, so this game usually goes a little bit better when I don't have a giant crowd of 700 people. However, I did hear rumblings from both sides that you clearly all had some people in mind, right? I'm gonna name a couple of people. We're gonna do it this way. I'm gonna name a couple of people and you're gonna be like, yeah. So who knows who RJ Mitty is? Breaking Bad, anyone? Yeah, some people watch Breaking Bad, okay. Don't do drugs. And then, how about Micah Fowler? Does anybody watch Speechless? Yeah. Yeah, Speechless is a good show, right? Okay, there you go. Okay, who in here is in love with Micah Fowler? Can we all just, yeah, okay. I see a couple people. Okay. So you're probably wondering, why did I just ask you to do all that? And it wasn't because I wanted to wake you up. It was because I wanted to remind you that representation of disability in the media is one of the most important ways that we can become empowered to make change. So when we see in the world around us, it reflects who we are and it shapes who we are. It's like a mirror. And when you look in the mirror, you want to see something positive reflected back at you. You want to have a good feeling about that, right? So obviously the same goes for how we're seeing disability represented in the media. We want to see it represented in a way that empowers us. So I know you have heard the rumor that I was on Sesame Street. The rumor is true. Okay guys, don't get too excited. It was only for one season. However, I did meet some pretty cool people, or Muppets, as it were. So this experience, it's why I'm talking to you about both media and empowerment and finding your voice. It's because this experience for me, at only the age of 10, inspired me to focus on being the change I want to see in the world. Just gonna quote a little Mahatma Gandhi here. What's a speech without throwing in a little Gandhi? So at 10 years old, I had the opportunity to audition to be on Sesame Street. And for a little kid, especially one who, I was in a mainstream school, which means that I did not go to school with other people with disabilities, or I should say with visible or physical disabilities. And so I often was a little bit confused about who I was and my sense of identity. But then, being given this opportunity at 10 years old to be on a national platform to educate other people about my life with a disability, that reminds me every day that there's a reason that I get up and that I'm an advocate. It's because I wish that I had seen somebody like me on TV sooner. I wish that I could be that person for someone else. And I wish that as I've been growing up, I would have someone like me on TV, in movies, in the newspaper, at every stage of my life. I want to see someone who looks like me, who acts like me, who sounds like me, who in some way connects to me on the level of having a disability. Because then it reminds me that I belong, that I am part of society, that I'm a valuable member of society, right? And so when we see ourselves reflected back at us, that's what empowers us to make change. So from being on Sesame Street, I learned that we need to hear and we need to see ourselves in the media. And when we hear our own voices, that's when we're able to speak up for ourselves, right? Right, exactly. When you know that other people around you are speaking up, you feel empowered to speak up too. So when people without disabilities see us, they say, oh, they are members of the community and we need to respect them just like everybody else. So it's really important not just for us, but also for people without disabilities. Being represented is what helps us fight discrimination. It's what helps us speak up against discrimination. And it also helps us love ourselves. I know we're getting touchy-feely for a minute, but loving ourselves is so important. If you don't see yourself as worthy of acceptance, how is anybody else going to see you as worthy of acceptance, right? Acceptance is what leads to change. And we're talking about change today, right? So that's the most important thing. So how many of you, actually I'm going to go back to, forgive me, to that slide for a second, just going out of order a little. So how many of you wish that you looked different, wish that something in your life was different, wish that you were in a different situation? How many of you have ever wished that something about you was different, that something about your life was different, right? Yeah. Of course, we all have, or most of us have, right? Sometimes I wish I was taller. Sometimes I wish my wheelchair didn't make my butt look so big. But, you know, you have to internalize positive messages about yourself. If you want to change something, you still have to learn to love and respect yourself first. So that's one of the key things I want you to take away from today. And now we're going to move on. So we've gotten the part where we love and respect ourselves, right? And now that we all love ourselves in here, everybody just give yourself a big old hug. Just give yourselves a big old hug. There you go. So now that we feel good about ourselves, it's a little bit easier for us to make change, because making change starts within you. So there are 3 types of change that I want to talk about today. First, there's personal change. There's change with healthy habits. There's changing where you live. There's changing your financial or your money situation. There's relationships, friendships, family, romantic partners, right? There's so many things that you might want to change in your personal life. Then we have professional changes that you can make. Jobs, work habits, work relationships. Are you getting along with your boss? Are you getting along with your coworkers? Things like that. And then, of course, there's societal changes. So that can be local, that can be within your community, it can be statewide, like so many of you are doing right now. It can be national, it can even be international. What do all of these have in common? Self-advocacy, it says right there. Come on, guys, I gave you the answer. So making change requires you to be an advocate in all parts of your life. And the important thing to remember is some of us are working towards small changes and some of us are working towards bigger changes. Whatever it is that you want to make a change for, whether it's eating healthier, whether it's taking on a new work responsibility, or if it's helping to change a law or change a policy, all of that is important. All of that matters. So, all right, I gave you the answer again here, guys. Who supports us to make change? Our community, that's right. So, I'm up here, and I am all sunshine and roses, and you see butterflies flying around me, and I'm just so happy to be here. But is self-advocacy always easy? Are you always happy? Right, and it's been really, really tough lately, as we talked about before. It's a tough world out there, guys. So how do we keep going when we're frustrated or we're down on ourselves? You know, when I hit an obstacle or barrier, I have family and friends. I have supports around me, a circle of support, if you will. And they can't always fix things. They can't. But they can be there for you. Not only that, but they can work together with you. So we turn to our communities for support. And community is what gives us energy and power. Like this conference, right? I mean, look around you. You have a huge community in this room. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this many people in my entire life, you guys. So if we are working together for fighting for our rights, that's how we're going to make change. Now, I'm saying, you know, we need to turn to our community, right? But how do we actually make change? There are so many things that we can do within our communities. And it's really important that you do what feels right for you. You have to use your voice and make choices, voices and choices, in a way that feels right for you. And that's going to be different for everybody. So how do I use my voice? I am a writer. I am a speaker. I post a lot on social media because I am a millennial. I record a podcast and I make videos. Again, I should tell you that I'm having 2 sessions today on making videos and podcasting if you want to learn about those methods to use your voice. Shameless plug. So how else can you make change? There is a huge list up here, and I'm guaranteeing you that I probably missed a couple things. But really, really quickly, we're going to do this super quick. You can film a video. You can record a podcast. You can post on social media. You can write a blog post, poetry, give a speech, give testimony. You can contact your policymakers, have a conversation. I'm sure we've been having a lot of conversations here, right? Start a petition, sign a petition, help organize a self-advocacy event, go to a march, a parade, a rally, make art, make music, take pictures, support your fellow self-advocates, attend a self-advocacy conference. And I guarantee you I left out so many things. There is so much you can do, and every single one of you in this room has the power to do something. And if it's not something on that list, that is okay, because we all do things differently, but we're all working towards the same goals of advocating to make the world a better place for people with disabilities, right? So here's what I want you to remember. So like I said before, if you've been taking a nap, I need you to bear with me right now so that you'll take away this one really, really important thing. We all have the power to positively influence people, to educate people, and to make changes in our own lives and in the world around us. I'm going to say that one more time. I want to make sure everybody's registering this. We all have the power to positively influence people, to educate people about disability, and to make change in the world around us, right? Yes. We all do. After all, is that not what we've been doing for 20 plus years with the Green Mountain Self-Advocacy Conference? I'd say that's a pretty good record, right? Let's hear it for 20 years. Yeah. Okay, so it is time for another 20 years of change. And it starts right here with all of us in this room. Right here, right now. So I want to make sure that you are energized and ready to go for the day ahead of you. So I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to respond, okay? So I'm going to say, what are we going to do? And you're going to yell, make change, okay? Get it? So I'm going to say, what are you going to do? And you're going to yell, make change. Everybody ready? Yes. Yes. I want this room to shake. What are we going to do? Make change. What are we going to do? What are we gonna do? Should we do it one more time? I think we should. What are we gonna do? Woo! Yeah! So now that you're all awake and ready to go, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for having me. I will be here all day. Please don't hesitate to find me. If you want to stay in touch, my contact information is right up there. And most importantly, have a great conference and get out there and what are we going to do? All right. I love you too.